Hey, what is up, guys? Evan Aldo here. Welcome back to the live stream. Hope you guys are doing really well. And yeah, it's Sunday night where I am. Sunday morning where some of you guys are, and a little bit early. So probably some of you guys are still sleeping about 8:50. 8:50, 8:50. Eastern time. What's up, Carlton? What's up, UB4? So, yeah, ultimately, still kind of waiting on to see, what happens with this ETH long, right here. I guess in an upward rally, you got a good shot, based on the kind of title of this to potentially break up at 5,300, right there into end of month. If you can pull off your, green August, I guess, if you really nuke, and which I kind of don't think would happen, but possible if you really do something like this down to, like, I don't know, early to mid September or something. Then you're probably gonna have a green September, so it's your redness right there. I don't think that'll happen though. To buy Tron today, that's the first time somebody asked me that. What's up, Sammy? Funny. Oh yeah, I do have Tron up. I was looking at that. I don't know. I mean, I think it's like any other altcoin or a lot of altcoins. I don't think it's necessarily dumb. I think you probably got a shot at doubling into the end of the year. Appreciate you, Sultan, and yeah, I mean potentially doubling into the end of the year. So I don't think it's a bad idea, but I think having a diversified portfolio of alts probably makes more sense. Like if you were to just buy Tron right now, just in hopes that this will be higher, this will go up into the end of the year. I mean, I think that's a little bit foolish because, you got odds against you because, well, not against you, but you got odds that something bad happens and it underperforms a lot of alts. So for alts, you kind of want to follow others, you know what I mean? Like others. And Tron probably is one that, let's look at Tron versus others. This is probably one that consistently outperforms it, if I had to guess. And yeah, it's consistently outperformed it by 2022. So yeah, oh, okay. So well, since 2019 there, so not exactly, but yeah, based on this, it probably will do pretty well, compared to the rest of alts. But I think it happened. Am I into memes? Not really, man. Not that much. I don't know why I find that funny. I think that there's Pangu. There's a lot of memes, man. I mean, there's a lot. Do I think Trump may make a comeback? Yeah, it's tough to say. I think it would probably jump here with a lot of other things. I mean, I would hope for a double at least. I think a lot of things will do a double to triple. Dogecoin too. So yeah, that's what I would say. If I had a guess, what would probably happen here. So yeah. Mm, mm. Solana looks pretty good. I think this might be able to get up to 266 by end of month, maybe. Especially if ETH could come up a little bit higher. I think Solana looks really good right now, actually. It could bleed a little bit more against ETH, but you're approaching probably a bottom. So I think Solana's a pretty good buy right now, yeah. Toshi. Yeah, we could look at Toshi. That sounds funny. Total 3, I think, will break upward here, too. Mune ABI, I mean, this is just, yeah. Yeah, let's look at Toshi. I don't know much about this, or anything about this. First time I'm hearing about it. Yeah, it's possible it could break back upward. Seems like a meme coin, right? Yeah, it could jump back up. That's on Coinbase, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I think it could come up. It's hard to say. I don't know crystal ball. A lot of stuff kind of looks the same. I mean, it's like a chain link. Mm. I'd say that's kind of the breakout point there, and then you should at least get close to old all-time high. This looks pretty good overall. I mean, you'll dilly-dally a little bit, but I think in a month or two you should be well on your way to hopefully, you know, new all-time high, that kind of area. So yeah. Dogecoin ETH right there at that point. Yeah, I mean Doge too has got a turn around potential, you know. All time, I don't know. I mean, it's a Sunday. I don't know. I would guess you probably wouldn't break out on a Sunday, but stranger things have happened. Maybe choppy, then break upward. I would guess if I had to guess here. I mean, I would say you know you do have. Where's your bear div? I mean, in the daily no 20. I mean, you're kind of trying to form bear divs, but I don't think that'll play out anytime soon. Sort of pull back again. Yeah. All etc. Yeah, I mean, a lot of them will pull back. Some of them could stay strong against Bitcoin and both Bitcoin and Ethereum, though. Take on September pullback. I think you're going to do something like this, if I had to guess. I mean, probably the ultimate way that just destroys both sides, something like that. And then back down there or slightly, something like that, maybe. And then from there, it would be more extended, obviously, but yeah. I mean, 25%, 20 to 25%, back to 4,000 or something. And then up to 7,000 and maybe a bit more if we can extend this rally. Let's see. Morpho is looking very strong. Which one would you choose to do? Morpho and Aave. Probably Aave. I don't know too much about Morpho. A lot of things will probably jump up, I mean, a lot of, if there is alt season, which there probably will be relatively soon. I mean, I don't know. This one's too new. I mean, this sky is the limit. It's hard to say where this could end up. I mean, it's probably has more data before it was listed on Coinbase, but I mean, yeah, I guess $5, maybe up to 7 even. I don't know. I think most things can get a 2 to 3x. That's what I would guess here. It's hard to pinpoint exactly what every single one will do, obviously, but yeah. If ETH dips, can all ETH based ETH based alts. They'll dip too. Some of them hopefully not as much, such as Chainlink. I think Link ETH should be able to kind of hold the line right here. So maybe a little bit. That's a good question though. If we look at, I don't know, let's say Cardano ETH. I mean, it's a different one, but yeah, it's dipping down a little bit more, maybe back down to this area. We'll see. I mean, there's certain people that are more bullish on, that think, everything's going to bleed against Bitcoin in September, which it might for a little bit, but when it comes back, man, for an all season, it come back strong. You know what I mean? Like, it come back strong. How often do I stream? It depends, man. It really depends. 4 or 5 times a week at various times. So it's kind of random. But I do a few more pre-recorded videos. I think those are a little bit more concise for you guys. I mean, sometimes the live streams, it's a little bit, sometimes I get good ideas. We have good conversations, but I think more out of respect to people's time, the pre-recorded are a little bit better overall. How's that right there? Let me look at a few things that I normally always look at. I mean, fear and greed, pretty neutral. I mean, this would tell us we got quite a bit more to potentially go. It would just be so crazy if this freaking thing goes back to like the fear area while ETH is essentially at a new all-time high. You know what I mean? Yeah. And yeah, that area right there. I mean, I don't know what's gonna. For all I know, you could easily maybe or actually, you could maybe not have much of a pullback in September. Historically, you would see a September pullback, but maybe it's different. As far as the Coin Glass one doesn't. Everybody looks at Coin Glass, right? What else are people? Ooh, this might actually not be too good. Your funding rates are getting a little higher. That's not bad though, but that'd be annoying though. Which crypto does like to annoy people. I mean, it could be a rejection from old all-time high. Let's look at ETH right now, where people have the. Ah, damn it! I'm logged in on the other one, I think, or whatever. But yeah. Atom, AVAX, Injective. We'll take a look at those. I mean, a lot of these sadly are not gonna do too much on their Bitcoin pair. Not like insane. They're not gonna make a new all-time high in their Bitcoin pair. Probably not a new all-time high in general. If freaking Atom is at the same below its June of 2022 lows and below October but it's below all these damn lows. I mean, it's below Bitcoin's all-time low of the last bear market significantly, which is no bueno. Can it jump back to like $14? Maybe. That's more of a reasonable thing. So there's that issue. Let's look at Atom Bitcoin. I have not looked at that in a while. Yeah, it's still kind of bleeding against Bitcoin as ETH outperformed it, So, just not where we want to be yet. You're looking a little bit better on some of these time frames, a little bit better. Money float's starting to come up there. Psychos does look pretty good against Bitcoin. AVAX I would be a little bit more hopeful on than, or actually quite a significantly more hopeful on than Atom, given that it's significantly above the damn October 23 low. Like, this is actually doing something. It's been depressing kind of since August of last year. Like, the last year's been pretty bad. We need like more action, but I think we may get some more action here. I mean, if you look at, obviously AVAX Bitcoin probably looks terrible. Yeah. But you're looking a little bit better on that monthly. This is, if you're going to get a reversal, it should happen here. And then AVAX ETH, I think, is probably worth looking at as well. That's the one I've been looking at for a while. And if it can hold kind of that line that it's now below, then you may have something going on. I mean, it did make a lower low, which is not good, but you may have something happen, That's a question, DAW, AVAX, all these kind of legacy coins that, well, now they're legacy coins. Last market cycle, they were kind of new novelty coins. They were like the Injectives, your Caspas, all that of this market cycle, or of last market cycle. I forget how to, but you guys get the point. And yeah, I mean, XRP obviously should do well. Those are the ones that have done well. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, can Atom, AVAX, Injective, Injective, probably they can fight back and do better, than XRP or Sol or even ETH into the next few months. But that's to be seen, It's definitely to be seen. That's why diversification's key. I mean, I don't know. I would guess out of all the ones you mentioned, all the ones that haven't done much, probably one of them will go crazy, you know what I mean? Polkadot, this keeps making lower lows. It does look a little bit better on the 3-week and the monthly. I could see this jumping back up to 11 or so, 2 or 3x, like most other things, maybe more, we'll see. I own positions in all of these that you mentioned. I have a lot of coins, so the plan remains. In about a little over a month from now, 5 weeks from now, I'm going to start to slowly DCA out of these markets. And well, I mean, so a lot of these can do what ETH did. Let's say they could do it. Let's say some of these can do what ETH. So ETH in the last, let's look at what ETH has done since April, May, June, July, August. The last 5 months. It's done a large jump, from 413 up to 250%. Can a lot of alts do a 250% jump from where they are right now in the next 5 months? Maybe, August is into December. If the cycle is extended, maybe. Rotation strategy over the next 5 months. It's a slow DCA out from everything, from October to, everything equally from October to end of year, and putting it into Probably a mix between Berkshire Hathaway, some gold. I mean, you get the Berkshire. I mean, if you're betting that Berkshire Hathaway outperformed the S&P 500 in 2022 and 2018 and 2014. If you want bear market year thing that outperformed ETH more so than, or outperformed Bitcoin more so than S&P 500, Nasdaq, it's your Berkshire Hathaway. I think it even outperformed gold in some of those years. So that statistically in our bull market decades, bear market decades for gold, but gold's doing well, so it's a little bit different this time around, would be Berkshire Hathaway. I mean, he's like 50% cash right now. So it's a damn conservative thing that's got a good shot of potentially outperforming S&P 500 next year, and gold as well, probably. I mean, gold's hot. Gold's kind of high. I don't know. This one's very hard to say. I think it should jump up if everything else does, but I could see it either way here. What do I think will be the retracement stall? Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, you know, I think that if I had to guess here, something like this, I mean, maybe back down here, and then voila. Well, that's kind of late. February is kind of late for a peak, but I mean, let me go on a time frame that's a little bit more, you know, conducive to, yeah, that's gonna be quick if it does, you know, freaking, come on, if it does, you know, go down that much, but something like that, maybe up to 400. I kind of don't think you would see 600, but we'll see. I mean, it is possible. My goal here is kind of like a double from here. I think like bigger cap alts don't really have much more than a double in them. Especially this, especially BNB, especially XRP, you know. Rotate to Bitcoin, then ETH and alts. Yeah. Well, that's after. Yeah, I mean that's after you rotate to ETH. Then, well, you know, that's in over the years. But yeah, after you rotate to mainly alts, then you would be DCing out of your alts. So I'm mainly in ETH and alts right now. You know. I mean, right now, I would guess like the average person. I mean, it's a good question, Larry. I would guess like, I mean, where are you right now? Do you have a lot of crypto? I mean, not to, you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but like, when did you buy your crypto? Like, are you buying it now? Did you just start buying crypto for the first time? Like, I'm just curious, like, are you way ahead? Are you way down? Like, I mean, what's your situation here? That's what I'm curious about. Because that does affect things a little bit. So yeah, I appreciate you, Decrypto. Yeah, smash the like button, guys. Got 32 people watching the stream. Always good. We'll take it. We'll take it. So yeah, and you know, that area right there. Oh, I'm thinking. If retail returns, will do really well. I think they should at ETH at a new all-time high, but we just hit a damn new all-time high and retail has not returned, which is nuts. You would think retail would be, you would think, well, I mean, we're getting more people tuning into Evan Aldo. I mean, I'll give you that. We're getting more, we're getting more people watching Evan Aldo. So, you know, we'll give you that. But that could be the better thumbnails. You know, there's other factors, more consistency. But people are tuning back in, but it's not as much as anyone, including myself, would have thought. You know, at ETH at a new all-time high. It could start to really pick up if ETH gets above 5,000, because maybe people don't really consider this to be a new all-time high because you made a slight new all-time high then just corrected. You know what I mean? Maybe we got a few more weeks. You know, we'll see. Usually retail gets right back in the seat right when it starts to crash. So maybe it crashes a bit or corrects a bit in September. About beginning of the year of 30% Bitcoin, 20% ETH risk. Okay, that's a hell of a. I mean, you've done well. I think it's risky to just hold that much Chainlink, but Chainlink looks good, so I can't argue with you. You know, financial advice, but Yeah, I mean, what you would do theoretically, it really depends, like how much you want to, do you want to keep some to for the possibility of a super cycle for 2026? Do you want to DCA all the way out and go into safer things? I mean, what I'm doing is I'm going to keep a bit of Bitcoin. There's some Bitcoin I have that I just never touch, and some ETH as well, I think. But I'm going to generally DCA out all of my alts from October 1st to end of year. That's what I'm planning on doing, and converting that into safer stuff. Berkshire Hathaway, for the reasons I mentioned, could be good, and that's just statistically because Berkshire Hathaway outperforms the SPY in 2018, 2022, 2014. So we'll take the risk with that, and it's also you're not going to lose that much with that. If markets are more bearish in 2026, which I presume they might be, and bonds go up, which I presume they will, then you got a good shot. I mean, Berkshire Hathaway is 50% bonds, and I think you got a good shot of doing pretty well with that. I mean, I would go maybe 80% that, 20% gold. Gold is kind of high. Your boy likes to buy stuff low generally, but I mean, it is what it is. We looked at, there's nothing I could really tell you too much about gold right now. I mean, I don't know. This could go either way. I would guess based on how we're seeing things, maybe if the dollar keeps going down, this should jump up, but I don't know. It's hard to say, man. I mean, this is kind of the first like gold bull run you really saw during like a good, economic time, I would say. Like from 22, and you know what I mean? This like it bottomed when everything else bottomed. I guess I could argue that, this could be an argument that, okay, we've just accepted 3% inflation. That's just going to keep gold higher against the US dollar. I mean, that's maybe what this has, kind of accepted. So, yeah, but generally, your bear market for gold should last, if it's like, here a bit longer. But after this was like, I think gold gets less volatile over time. Like, a lot of things, the longer they're around, just in general, they get more volatile. So instead of a 20-year bear market, it's probably like this is maybe a 12-year, let's say 10-year bear market, and then a 20-year bull market. Maybe it follows more of a structure like S&P 500 now. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not the biggest, like, I mean, other than the 70s, like, I mean, you would have made money, obviously, from here to here. This decade, you would have done very well, especially compared to the S&P 500. You would have crushed it, compared to everybody else. If history is any indication, 2030s will be like that, but I think there's other assets and crap now, so I don't know. You would have done better. I mean, gold versus, Berkshire Hathaway outperformed. The main decade Berkshire Hathaway outperformed S&P 500 was 2000 to 2010, and you could see it's pretty significant here. I mean, this was 2020, around here to 2011. He had some hiccup and some weird hiccup there, but I don't know how that was pretty bad too. Jeez, what the he was smoking. So him and Charlie were smoking some weird stuff back then, but I don't think that's happening again. I mean, it's kind of a bottom there. I mean, this would kind of tell you into 26, potential against or gold. Yeah, gold was I don't know. And now I thought that I was doing it compared to S&P 500. No, this is against gold. That's the thing. Yeah. So he outperformed. Gold outperformed him, and then I mean, gold bled against him. Now, according to that, you should be ready for gold to do better, but we'll see. I don't know. But BRK versus SPY, that's a good indicator. I mean, this looks like, what's that 10-year period here? Very well against S&P 500, that kind of area. It was after this dump, though. I mean, it depends when you got in, but there to there, pretty good. And now you're down against it, so I would bet that, I mean, unless you really don't believe in the new guy they put in, I mean, I would bet that you should be able to outperform S&P 500 in 2026. But maybe, I mean, I would buy gold too. It's a weird thing about gold. I guess there's no compound interest. There's also no compound interest in Berkshire. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can do it. If you wanted to be really freaking conservative, you could go like 30% SPY, 30% Berkshire Hathaway, 30% gold. I mean, when you say you will DCA out, did you buy them spot or you bought them future? Well, it doesn't. Yeah, for long-term holdings, it's all spot. I stake a lot of this shit too, because why not? that would be the thing too. A lot of that staking period is 30 days. So you got to start unstaking at the beginning of September if you're planning on doing this. Now, again, Evan Aldo could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe we have super cycle, but if you're betting on general Fourier cycle, DCing out from October to end of year makes the most sense. What was I going to say here? But no, I do it on spot. But you could also DC out of futures too. I mean, yeah, if you want. Depends how you do it. Long-term holdings are on spot for me because if you're going to earn 4% interest or 10% interest on something for holding it a year, you know what I mean, that's generally worth it. I mean, if it stay, I mean that's the difference between, well, I mean, if you argue something like Atom, like it's like Atom has a high freaking return rate for staking. So that's what I would, how much have you, let's say you did it, well, okay, not too, end of last year. And you would have been sideways against S&P 500 when you factor in the 17% staking or whatever the hell. That's pretty good. So you'd actually have but you got your same return, or outperform the S&P 500 slightly. But if you bought back here, you're screwed. I mean, obviously, it's down probably from the, from any time in 22 or 23, you're down 80%. So it doesn't really matter there. So yeah. SWE is looking decent, trigger wave right there. I think I don't know, I think you eventually should be able to break upward, to maybe $6-7 or something, but we'll see what happens in September. So yeah, but I always appreciate you guys smashing a like button if you guys are interested in trading or even buying on spot on a lot of these exchanges. BloFin is doing this promo until August 28th, up to $100K deposit in trade rewards. Deposit $1 million for that and trade I don't know, a crazy amount, but is a lot. BYDFI as well. First deposit that ends August 30th. Check it out for the bonus. And I think there's also a Bitcoin giveaway too. They're doing. Check that out. Link down below. And remember, if you guys accept any links down below, deposit at least $100 and do. Make sure you deposit at least $100. Make sure you open a support ticket in the Aldo Empire VIP Discord, and I'll give you one free month in there. Just put your UID or your email in the thing, and we'll get you sorted in the support ticket. So yeah, elements of a major correction. What elements go? How much is it going to drop? I mean, the thing is, a statement like that, the market's going to fall a lot. That's 1,000% true. It's just it's getting when it's going to happen. You know what I mean? Is that going to happen tomorrow? Is it going to happen in 10 years? Is it going to happen in 1 month? It's like just predicting it's going to crash. That's there's 100% certainty of that, But is there, it depends, I mean, a lot of people were telling me the market was going to crash at the last FOMC meeting. I don't know when the hell that was. July, I think. Yeah. July FOMC meeting, people were telling me the market was going to crash. And it didn't crash yet. So, yeah. Next week gonna have it could. The funding fees are getting a little high, so it definitely could. There might be more people if we do crash. More people will get in the seat, especially given that a lot of people will try to bet that ETH is gonna. If we do this, I would say a lot of people, including myself. Well, I don't know if I'm gonna put any more money in. I feel like that's a little bit. I have too much already, but I have enough. Well, like that. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna bet it's gonna come back probably. Excuse me. So yeah, to get people back in the seat there. Got Trump. Got Trump. I mean, NFTs, those are kind of lackluster. I think we just need some type of freaking altcoin season to or altcoin break even season. To just give if we could just get this back to $1 or something. I don't know, where was I think I originally bought this around here or something. If we could just get back at break even, you know what I mean? I have a lot of stuff. My worst performer is not ApeCoin. I mean, my worst performer has been Polygon. That's been the absolute worst performer of anything in my portfolio. Swing trading futures. Yeah, I mean, that's what most of my trades are, Sultan. I mean, yeah, that's what most of the trades in Discord are. That's what most of my trades are. They're swing trading futures. That would be, I think, the easiest and well, I mean, it depends. That's just subject to interpretation, but and personal experience. But yeah, I would say swing trading futures generally is the most profitable or the easiest thing to be successful at. So, I mean, that's most of what my trades are. Do I think we have a rally in ETH? I think there's a good shot. I don't know. I mean, I don't have a crystal ball. I wish I could know exactly, and then I could just bet, my entire life savings on 5,300 and be a billionaire. But it's not that easy. Yeah, I'm just following the same strategy with that as everything else. Just DCA out from October 1st to end of year, and if you DCA out when it's high, that probably will be a good idea. Work pretty well. So yeah. So yeah. Well, speaking of Sol, or Polygon, I've just been looking at the Coinbase one because there's less data, so it doesn't look as bad, but it still is really. I mean, the thing too is like if you got in anywhere, that area. I mean, I'm trying to think like September 24. And I guess you wouldn't be that bad. You'd be down 30%, but I think I'm down like freaking. I don't know. Well, I'm down like 50, I think, if not more. I don't know. I'm down pretty bad on that. Like I'm hoping for 75 cents on this by end of year. Like if I can get 75 cents, then I mean it's not the worst. I'm just trying to think like yeah, it wouldn't be as bad. I mean it can rally back to $1. I think all time high was about $3 for this. I mean, I would say like if you can get back to you just zoom out and all it does is go down. Yeah, $3. I mean, I think if you can get back up to like a freaking $1, then you're kind of back in business. But that's still a damn 4x. But then again, ETH did it in the last 5 months, so, or 3x in the last 5 months. So, yeah, that's probably what I'm doing. Yeah, Polygon. I don't know. I mean, there's the fundamentals are not as they're probably not. I would bet they're not as good as they used to be because the damn thing crashed so much. But I feel like they're not that bad, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like buying freaking, some random meme coin. Yeah, a lot of people liked Matic. It just didn't, it's very the biggest example of something that's really gotten just absolutely diminished, But it's all about the diversity. I mean, what altcoins did, like, what altcoins would you be up the most if you bought, at any point in, like, 23, Solana, you'd be up quite a bit. Ever since like freaking, I mean, you'd be up if you bought in, a lot of 24 here, but yeah. That's the thing. What price does? I mean, it comes down, it consolidates a lot, comes up, consolidates a lot, goes down. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's got a shot at 400. I think this could be a $400 one. I think the monetary policy, I mean, should help us too. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be that bad where they immediately cut and everything. I think you still got your like potentially into end of year. I think Bitcoin probably will peak out in October, but I do think alts probably have a shot at going a month or two more. 75% chance of a rate cut. I think you'll see a rate cut in September. I think the only scenario for no rate cut in September is if things go like freaking parabolic, before then. And I'm talking about like 7,000. Well, they don't care about ETH price, but you'd probably need like a $7,000 ETH, and everything else to go up somewhat proportionally, per capita compared to that to not see a rate cut in September. So I think that's almost a done deal, but we'll see what happens. Probably only going to get 2 into the year though. But yeah. I think too I wanted to look at. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you guys hold NASDAQ, right? Which has been a pretty good idea. I mean, it's outperformed SPY for so many years. Just a little curious about that against Warren Buffett. That jump right there. I wonder when you'll come. That's interesting too because you've bled against. So Buffett still outperformed you since November, like those highs there. Yeah, that's still. Hold on a second. Am I looking at this right? Let me look. Hold on a second. Yeah, you're. Yeah, compared to. Yeah. It's just bled against for since '08, basically. Yeah. There's lows there, and then you got a little. I think 26 could be a good, decent year for that. Yeah, because of the American bombs. That's the thing too, Larry. That's what I would hope. So if we are bearish into that, it would likely change direction. If we're bullish into that, it goes either way. Did I eat pad thai? Yeah, a couple times so far. A lot of carbs there. The thumbnail guy, yeah, you could tell he did this thumbnail. Yeah. No, I did not hire. I don't think. I mean, do you guys think I need a thumbnail guy? I think the thumbnails are good enough, man. I mean, what's he gonna? Everybody I've always hired, usually it just half-asses everything generally. You know, they always seem to try to half-ass, especially the ones like that. No offense to him. I'm sure he could be great, but usually they don't do that great. Usually they're English. They can't even. Some of them couldn't even do the right text in the thumbnail when I've had them in the past. So I'm just like, I might as well do it myself, you know, and I need it done quickly. How long does it take to make $50 million? Oh, man. Well, I mean, before I answer that, what do you think? You know, if you had to answer that question, you know, what do you guys think? How long does it take to make $50 million? And before I'll give you an answer, but I just want to see what you guys think before. Fair enough? You know. Thumbnail talking. Well, I mean, I don't know. Are the thumbnails good enough for you guys? You want better thumbnails? Let me know. I mean, I think they're good enough. I think they're okay. I think this one's fine. I think, you know, I think they're good enough. That's what I will say. So, yeah. Yeah, long. Too long. I mean, 50 million from zero or from, I mean, how long from zero, from nothing, from being, is it from being $50 million in debt for like, what are the circumstances here? Like from nothing, from zero? Like I need more details before I answer this thing. Appreciate you, Malik. I don't think the thumbnails are too. I think they're pretty good, the way they are. Or you could short, or if you short the market and it crashes, then you get to 50 mil. I would say from nothing to 50 mil. I mean, if you really go hard, you probably could. I mean, it depends on the person. I mean, from investing, I mean, for 50 million, I'm thinking, let me think about this a little bit more. I think somebody who's a really savvy investor could probably turn 20, well, right now I would say 30, 40 G's into like a 10 to 20x in 5 years, let's say. So maybe $1 million, let's say, let's be optimistic, maybe $1 million in 5 years. Can you get another 10 to 20x in another 10 years if you're a savvy investor? Maybe. You know, you got 15 years and now you got 20 mil, 10 to 20 mil. Another 10 years. I would say 20 years. If you really know what you're doing, I could see if you got 30K, if you're like if you really got that robotic, you know, if you really could get, especially with the steady income too, if you got 30, you know, let's say 50 G's right now, invest in, you know what you're, I think you could do it in like 20 or not, well, probably, I say 30, so let's see, 15 years, let's see, maybe 15 years to 10 to 20 mil. Another 15 years for another 10 to 20, yeah, I don't know, 20 to 30 years, I'd say, 20 to 30 years. 20 to 30 years, I think you could do that. That's a good question, though. Because we don't really think in numbers that big. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Somebody who's let's say somebody's like 30 years old right now. They have like 50 grand. And I mean, most people probably, you talk about, through 50 grand trying to invest in crypto, all that. Yeah, I mean, most likely they'll lose it. But, let's say somebody's a really, ends up getting really good at it. I mean, but when they're 60, I could see them having 50 mil, probably not adjusted for inflation, but in today's 50 mil, which probably would be like, oh, damn, that would probably be like 25 at that point. Yeah, I mean, in the year 2000, I think 1 mil was 500 G's was like 1 mil, I think. If I'm not mistaken, it was like half. Yeah, if you had 500 G's in 2000, like that was, yeah, if you had 1 mil in 2000, that was like 2 mil. Yeah. Which that was kind of like, I feel like it even felt like a lot more too if you had 1 mil in the year 2000. I don't know, based on real estate and like cost of living compared to wages and stuff. I don't know. I feel like if you had a mil in the year 2000, like that probably felt like in a lot of places like 5 mil today. Because now it's not real. Like if you have a mil today, I mean that's not even that's like a decent house. It's not even like a nice house anymore in the U.S. Like I'm trying to think, like 1 mil, like that's not even. Well, I guess it depends where you live. Yeah, but like 1 mil, I would say is like okay, a pretty nice house. But not like a really nice house, you know what I mean? I mean, the majority of people do, I think, become millionaires by paying off their mortgage. So if you get a mortgage when you're in your 30s, theoretically, you'd become a millionaire when you're in your 60s. That's usually how it happens. And then compared to the average person, IRAs, 401k, that type of stuff, and then you add another million there. So it's like a 2 million retirement around, which a 2 million retirement, I mean, pretty good. I mean, what's the 4% rule on that if you don't want to ever touch the principal or whatever? I mean, what is it like? I forget. 50 G's a year or something? Maybe a little more. Let's see. 5 million is 140K a year or something like that. And then there's like 60. I don't know. But anyway. QBTS, quantum stocks. I don't know much about that, man. Trade Intuition. Oh, you were on, if I'm not mistaken, you were on ATB, right? That's the thing too. Okay, so let's see. Kita, I'll engage with the. This is just. I mean, this is. I don't know. I have no opinion on this. It's not. Yeah, it's just not enough data. I just want to look at these coins, and we'll talk about the trading groups and all that. This, I don't know, D-Way, I don't know much about this, man. I would have to research this. I mean, it generally keeps going upward. It looks a little bit toppy. I would guess you'd probably have a bad 2026 or something. That's what I would guess. I think a lot of your AI and like new stuff probably will have a bad 26 if history repeats, but could be wrong. Oh yeah, shout out to Trade Intuition. How have you been doing, buddy? Hope you've been doing well. Appreciate you watching me. Wow. Must have made an impression. I remember you, Trade Intuition, but you're not somebody like that comes up on my. I'm sure I'm subscribed to you or follow you on Twitter, all that, but I mean, I don't think I've seen any of your videos in a while. If you do, I think you make videos, right? Shout out to Trade Intuition. But yeah, let's see, scammer that does not trade. Yeah, I mean, the thing too, like with that is, I feel like that's kind of like winning the lottery because I feel like there's so many people that try to have created garbage and have tried to sell it. Like maybe this guy doesn't. Okay, there's two things here. You usually when you get rich getting lucky like that, usually you lose the money or these lottery winners, all that, or like it's still like the problem with that is like. You take like a dumb, like, I mean, politically incorrect word, I guess, for some. You take a idiot and you give them, you take a very, very low IQ individual. You give them like $10 million. Like, it's still a very low IQ individual. Like, I mean, are they smart enough to, keep that money? That's the thing too. I mean, I've seen living in Miami. I mean, I have seen people blow money like you will not believe. There's one girl that I think she made 600 G's. I'm not going to tell you how she made this money. You use your imagination. It's the thing you'd probably guess. Not quite there, but in that spectrum. It wasn't OF, but kind of, in that spectrum. And made 600 G's in like 2 years. I think it was like 300 G's a year. Blew the money like crazy. Bought a bunch of expensive crap. Never paid taxes on it. Ended up 2 years later with just a freaking 200K bill to the IRS and nothing to show for it. 200K in debt. So, I mean, you got it. That's another skill. Like those people that are undisciplined a lot of times, like, there's a disciplined skill to keep money too. That's the thing. And I mean, the way the world works, the capitalistic world, I mean, there's always a lifestyle that will cater to how much money you have and will give you an opportunity to blow it. You know what I mean? Like there's a reason why the high roller tables in Vegas exist. There's a reason why, there's restaurants with $1,000 steaks exist. Like there's ways to blow your money. There's a reason why Rolexes and all that stuff. Well, Rolexes aren't too bad. That's good. That keeps their value, but that's the thing. It wasn't OF. Thank you, Noah. I won't say what it was. I don't want to violate anybody's privacy, but you could kind of guess what it probably was. It wasn't that though. But that's the thing too. Yeah. So you gotta kind of keep the money. Now I'm sure not everyone who's in that spectrum blows all the money. Like I'm sure there's people that keep it and all that, but. That's the thing too. Like, I mean, I've been outside the U.S. for some time now. Generally living outside the U.S. for many months now, and I was back in the U.S. for the month of June. But generally outside the U.S. I mean, I don't know. It messes with your mind a little bit when you watch all the crap on social media and all. It seems like men are just at ends with women in the West, and it's just such a it seems like such a dramatic Jerry Springer type, thing. And it's just a lot of drama and a lot of crap. And it really can mess with your psyche, in some ways. You know what I mean? It really can mess with your psyche in some ways. The drama and all that stuff, yeah. No, she wasn't a scammer. No, it was something completely legitimate. I'm not gonna say what it was, but it was something legit. It was not like. It was something in the realm of, it wasn't anything with the internet. It didn't have to do with the internet. It wasn't anything on it. You didn't need to know, you didn't need to be tech savvy to do it, believe me. TLT, I'd rather invest in Berkshire Hathaway than that because it's 50% bonds. But TLT could be good in 26. I don't think you're going to have a major breakthrough for TLT until the 2030s. I think you need asset prices to drop significantly. And I think you need like a plus 30% drop for S&P 500 and all that. But I mean, okay. So if we look at like, okay, trading group made 10 mil, didn't really know how to trade. I mean, I don't know. I think if you were able, this is a thing too, maybe I'm wrong, but if you're able to make a trading group that makes 10 mil in terms of member fees and of people joining it to actually make 10 mil, like you probably have either the best marketing skills in the goddamn world or you're like some value was in there to get people to stay. I feel like, I don't know. I mean, to make that amount from a trading group, like, I have a Discord that's paid. It brings in, I don't make very much. I mean, $1,000 a month, $1,500 I make from it, which is still a decent amount. I mean, it's still, pretty good. I mean, I make more trading than I mean, you can believe what you want. I'm sure there's haters that'll say different, but I mean, I make more trading than that, which is not very impressive if you're just only making, I mean, that's not even an impressive statement to say. But yeah, let's see. One coin that will give, I don't know, 70K. It's such a stupid question. I mean, no offense to you, but I think it's such a dumb question. I mean, I would guess maybe, max retire, I don't know, it's Chainlink maybe? I don't know. It depends how much risk you want to take. I mean, what if I had to pick one coin? I'd pick Bitcoin probably, man. Maybe ETH. I wouldn't want the risk if I were to put everything in one thing. Appreciate you from Istanbul. I was in the airport there once. I gotta go back there. Gotta visit Turkey. I go to Turkey. Sure, some pretty good food there. What was I gonna say? Mm. But yeah, I mean, to make, yeah, it's like $50 million. Like, I mean, there's people that have done it in a couple years. If you start a business, it takes off. Like, I mean, obviously pretty rare. There's people who have done it in a few years. I think somebody average IQ really puts their mind to it. It's very disciplined. It can do kind of the swings and ride the cycles the right way based on history. And I mean, the thing too is like, I mean, if you can get, I mean, there's some good, well, I mean, if you can get up to a couple million first, and then riding a couple million to 50 million, you probably could do in 20 years as a pretty savvy investor. I would go some hedge funds, some real estate, some S&P 500 stuff, and then kind of ride cycles, stuff like that. So yeah. Mm. There's a lot, yeah, Christopher Columbus. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, I mean, there's a lot of people. It's everything operates, just based on the most amount of engagement, most amount of likes, some people's Twitter pages. And I mean, with AI getting stronger and stronger, I think, I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but I think it's going to be harder and harder to kind of stand out. I guess we have the creativity that AI doesn't have for now. I mean, I would still kind of think there's a scenario where it's like we got 50 years before it really gets to the point where, there's going to be no need for YouTubers or all of that. So yeah. I mean, I guess you look at it, like, you can kind of compare it to like old things, like things that you don't really need anymore that are kind of obsolete, like getting your damn shoes shined in New York City. The people still do that. They were doing that in 2020 or like late 2019. Those old dudes, they'd read the paper and get their shoes shined. Like, there's still stuff. I mean, there's obviously no need to buy the paper. I mean, I guess you could get your shoes shined. I guess there's still a need for that. I mean, maybe. I guess some people still work in offices. There's not even really a need to work in offices anymore, really. That's just to put you in a cage so you're more, getting your work done based on that. But I think the days of that are even numbered to a certain extent. I mean, reading the newspaper, some people like to have it in their hands, but that's mainly the older generations. I mean, I don't think that's gonna. I mean, some things will stick around. I mean, fax machines to people. I guess some people. It's mainly there's no need for it. It's just mainly older people. Just keeping the same rules that they had. You know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of like, I'm trying to think what else. I mean, part of it's money. I mean. Yeah, it's the reason why they still drive like all these scooters around in Asia and all that. Mainly because cars are more expensive, but yeah. USTD. I mean, for what? Only indicator you need for what? For what need? I mean, for seeing what USTD dominance is, like, for what need? I mean, what need are we trying to? Trying to see. That's what people have been saying a lot about energy, about AI. Yeah, about a lot of the because one of my friends it was more on the left leaning spectrum, I would say, but I respect the opinion. I mean, maybe he's right. Who knows? But he was saying like more because of AI is not going to catch on because it needs too much energy or whatever. But I mean, I don't like that's kind of like, doesn't everything require less energy as it gets better? Like, don't cars require less fuel now? Don't things aren't things more energy efficient? Like, now they just give you light bulbs that kill you, but they require less energy, like the LEDs and all that, fluorescent. You know what I mean? Those are supposed to be worse for you for some reason. I don't know how true that is. Does anybody know any conspiracy theorists here who know about that? I'm about to get demonetized or whatever, but I'll lose the $3 on this live stream for, you know. That's what I've read. Incandescents are better. Ugh, jeez. But yeah, potential jump up. First hold portfolio, Bitcoin, ETH, Sol, about Ondo, which is not doing good. Yeah. Blue chip coins. I mean, you're trying to invest 70K right now. It's a thing too. Like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. For all I know, this could be the top for ETH, but I think you would have a good shot of. You know, the thing is, like, you could look at the portfolio that me and Paul Barron did on the. I was on Paul Barron a few days ago. We went over it at one point in the video. I think at the end of it, we went over it. And you can look at that list. We're up about 10, 15% or something. I did most of that list. Don't put paying. I wouldn't buy Pangu personally. Um, but a lot of those you could diversify into. I mean, be careful though. I mean, I would say I don't think you would lose that full 70K if things don't go well, but I do see a potential scenario where like that 70K is maybe a lot less. Well, depends how you define a lot less, but I see a scenario where it's lower. I think it's pretty unlikely based on history, but there could be a scenario where that's lower at the end of the year. So I don't know. I mean, if you're buying now and then like I feel like that you gotta have the you're gonna be walking around like you gotta have some big cojones too because if you buy right now and then September is a bad month, I mean, I do think things would come back and make new all-time highs by the end of the year, and you probably should be good, but I don't know. You might want to wait until the Fed officially cuts, especially if we're down into that Fed cut. But I don't know. It's just a different strategy. But it's like I know it's a tough question because like a lot of people they when people have the money to invest, usually that's when the market's doing well. When they don't have the money to invest, it's when the market's crashing. Or at the bottom. Some energy stocks will benefit potentially. Yeah. Commodities, they could have a good decade in the 2030s, I think. And did the commodities do that? Was deflationary in the double O's. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, trading wars. Yeah, yeah, that was fun. Yeah, I guess the viewership wasn't as good in the last season. We got to try to get more talent on there. If we do it again, I got to talk to Keeper. But yeah, that was fun, man. The thing too with like when you talk about it made $10 million as like a scam group or whatever. I mean, a lot of scammers do fall. I mean, not they don't all fall, but a lot of them at least get sued and go through enough hassle and have their reputations ruined. You know what I mean? Like it's not all peaches and cream. I remember some like video on YouTube I was watching this older guy talk about like what it was like living in the villages in Florida. If you're not familiar, that's like a retirement community, a 55 plus giant community in Florida. Something near Orlando, I think, called the Villages. And he was like, it's not all peaches and cream living there. Yeah, but they drove around. That's the thing, too. I remember when I was young, because my perspective was so limited. When I was like a teenager, I didn't really like the long winters in Connecticut and all that. And I would think like the new frontier, like as far away from my vicinity was like Florida. Like that was like my world was kind of just America. You know what I mean? Maybe, yeah, like mainly just America. And like Florida seemed like the outskirts of the frontier. But now it's like just, I feel like the world is so much larger to me because there's so many other viable places to live that have a climate as good as Florida. You know what I mean? Like Southeast Asia, like parts of Latin America. It seems so much more vast to me. Like that's why I only thought like that was the last frontier, and I think Florida, it was. Overall I liked living in Florida better than Connecticut overall, but I mean it was still America, you know what I mean? So it's not that like America's still like as long as you still have the United States, it's not going to be that much different. That's what I would say. It's not going to be that much different. It feels more different now. It's getting more divided, and it's going to end up. The states are probably going to end up getting more and more power as time goes on, and it gets more divided. And especially as you approach 200%, debt to GDP, probably by the 2040s, 2050s. So yeah. Trying to think here. But yeah, that's the thing too. Like the world, you look at like the world. I mean, the world does. It doesn't change. I mean, it depends where you are. You know, you look at like if you grew up in suburban America, like the world's not, you go back there like, 20, 30 years later. It's not that, it doesn't look that much different. It's generally pretty similar. I mean, the cars are a little bit more advanced, Generally, your average Joe going to the grocery store shopping who can't afford, have groceries delivered or doesn't want to for whatever reason, that's kind of the same. Most of it's kind of the same, but like other places, like you look at like a Bangkok, Thailand 20, 25 years ago compared to now. Like I think it's, all these malls that have come up, quite a bit different, Other places, I would even, argue more of the developed world is a lot different. Yeah, I don't even think Dubai. Was Dubai even a thing for expats going there, living there, moving there 20, 25 years ago? I don't think so, was it? That didn't get big until like 10 years ago, not even. It didn't really get big until around COVID, prior, a few years before COVID that I heard about it. I was young, over 10 years ago, so I wasn't really paying attention to it too much. But, yeah, people were talking about it in like maybe 2010, 2015. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, I think I'm probably going to wrap this up. Been on about an hour. I think I'm going to go in the Discord. If you guys want to chat, go in the Discord. It's in only the VIP section. If you want a free month, if you sign up to any exchanges down below, deposit at least $100, give you one free month in there. And we'll chat for probably an hour or so. It's almost 9 p.m. where I am right now, so I'll probably go on until 10 or 10:30 or something. I may take a 10-minute break now, and then I'll go in there. I want to stretch my legs or whatever. First, then we could chat with you guys if you're interested. So check it out, probably about 10 minutes, maybe a little sooner. Smash the like button. Check out the pin chat below. 20% of your fees for BloFin. In addition, if you deposit at least $100, like I mentioned, you get one free month in all the Empire VP Discord. Just open a support ticket with your UID or your email. Yeah, we'll get you sorted. You got to know what you're doing for trading. The majority of people, they put in, I don't know, 20 grand, 2 grand, 1 grand, and just do degenerate crap. It's, more of a skill. So keep that in mind, guys. Not financial advice. I'll see you.